forever without getting better isn't necessarily because you haven't worked hard enough. It's because walking alone often isn't enough to fix muscle weakness and loss of balance. The two reasons sitting down or climbing stairs feels heavy. In fact, after 60 fall, risk rises. Each year, about 1/4 of people aged 65 and older experience a fall, and more than 1/3 of those require medical care. So we need an approach that's more effective than walking alone. Clinical trial overviews show that programs including strength and balance exercises can reduce the rate of falls by about 23%, compared with no exercise, meaning your risk can go down when you choose the right moves and the right technique. That's why today I'm introducing 5 exercises, surgeon-approved, knee-friendly, that help you hurt less, stand up more steadily, and climb stairs more easily. The key lies in a familiar mechanism. When you apply controlled, appropriate load to the muscles and tendons around the knee, the cells sense that load and convert it into biological signals, triggering repair and reinforcement of muscle fibers and the structures that support the joint. This is called mechanotransduction. Imagine it as retraining your body to respond better every time it's loaded. Load correctly and tissues strengthen. Load incorrectly or not at all, and tissues weaken. Therefore, all 5 exercises favor a small to moderate range of motion, slow controlled tempo, and targeted work on the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and peripatellar muscles, so you feel gentle yet solid, no equipment needed, all doable at home. Coordinate breath posture and rest time to reduce joint stress. This can make the difference between walking strongly at 80 or needing a cane at 70. Whatever your age, you deserve to feel strong, steady, and vibrant in your body. Before we start, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. I'll read and respond to tailor the intensity. If you're ready to regain confidence in your step and feel secure when standing up and sitting down, let's begin. Stay with me to the end. Move 5. Wall push-up with weighted hold. First, a knee-friendly move that builds upper body pushing strength so you can brace yourself if you misstep the wall push-up with a weighted hold. This is an ideal opener because it's gentle on the knees yet trains the chest, shoulders, and triceps, things walking does not provide. Here's why we start here. According to the US CDC, an estimated 1 in 4 adults aged 65 plus falls each year, and roughly 37% of those who fall require medical treatment or must limit activity for at least 1 day. In emergency departments alone, about 3 million visits annually are due to falls in this age group, showing just how large the injury burden is. Globally, the WHO reports an average of 37.3 million falls each year that are severe enough to require medical attention. These figures come from reliable national data and highlight that fall risk is common, not rare. Moreover, structured exercise programs reduce fall rate by about 23% in community-dwelling adults. 60 plus, meaning risk can drop markedly if you add strength and balance work instead of walking alone. Day-to-day wins show up fast, less neck-shoulder soreness when pushing doors or bracing, to stand smoother stand-ups from chairs, and when you stumble, enough arm strength to catch yourself instead of going down. The simple mechanism behind this is the body's force feedback. Muscle and tendon cells sense mechanical load and send signals to rebuild and fortify tissue, central to preserving the musculoskeletal system with age. How to do it safely: stand an arm's length from a wall, feet hip-width, palms at shoulder height. Inhale, lean in under control until your nose nearly touches the wall. Hold 3 to 5 seconds, feel chest, shoulders, and core lightly braced. Exhale and press back over 2 seconds. If you have a light dumbbell, 0.5. You can hold it close to your chest at the near wall point to increase stimulus while keeping joints comfortable. Suggested tempo: 2 seconds down, hold 3-5 seconds, 2 seconds up. Start with 2-3 sets of 5-12 reps, rest 45-60 seconds. Progress by stepping farther from the wall, holding the weight longer, or moving to push-ups on a table or countertop. Regress by standing closer, omitting the weight, or shortening the range. Track progress with 2 simple markers: clean reps increasing while knee pain stays, or 5-10, and a steadier push off the wall without arm tremor. Over time, total pushing strength rises consistent with meta-analyses on resistance training in older adults showing gains in both strength and functional capacity. This wall push-up reliably builds the upper body. Move 4. Seated leg raise with resistance. With pushing primed, we shift focus to the front of the legs, so every step and stair feels lighter. The seated leg raises with resistance. This targets the hip flexors and quadriceps, the duo that determines how fast you walk and how easily you climb. Your usual walking speed can predict longevity. 5- and 10-year survival models in older adults show that faster walkers have substantially higher survival probabilities than slower walkers. Therefore, any exercise that improves speed carries real health, meaning not just a number on a watch. In addition, overviews of trials show exercise in general reduces fall rate by about 23%, with lower limb strength work contributing meaningfully to that change. You'll notice the difference when standing up, stepping up, and climbing feel easier. With properly aligned loading through the knee-hip receptors in muscle and tendon sense force and signal tissue reinforcement, so the supporting structures around the knee strengthen over time. To perform, sit tall on a sturdy chair, back resting lightly on the backrest, both feet flat on the floor, hands holding the seat edges. Straighten the right knee within comfort, then lift the lower leg until nearly parallel to the floor. Hold 2 seconds lower slowly, without fully resting the heel, so gentle tension remains. Complete reps, then switch. Tempo 2 seconds up, hold 2 seconds, 2 seconds down. Exhale on the lift, inhale on the lower. Start with 2-3 sets per leg, 8 to 15 reps. Progress with 0.5 to 1 kg ankle weights or a resistance band anchored to the chair leg, increasing every 2 weeks while form stays good, and knee pain. 10. Regress by lifting lower, holding shorter, or lightly supporting the thigh with your hand when starting out. Self-tracking, reach 15 clean reps per leg at the set tempo, and use a self-selected 4-meter or 10-meter walk test. Aim to increase by 0.1, 0.2. After 6 to 8 weeks, a level of improvement reported in overviews on the effects of strength training on gait in older adults. Before we move to exercise 3, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next 2 powerhouse moves, because these are the keystones that make your ankles and calves work like a peripheral pump to drive blood upward and help you hold your balance in those slippery moments. We'll train the calves and ankles with standing heel raises, plus a balance challenge. Move 3. Standing heel. Raises with balance hold. According to the CDC, roughly 1/4 of adults 65+ fall each year, creating a substantial injury burden. Further, the latest NCHS report shows fall-related mortality in U.S. adults 65+ has risen markedly over the past 2 decades. For prevention, randomized overviews in BMJ Sports Medicine / Cochrane conclude that exercise programs reduce the rate of falls by about 23% in community-dwelling older adults. With calf raise work, progress is measurable via single-leg heel raise counts and single-leg stance time, reliable indicators of plantar flexor strength and balance capacity in older populations. With regular practice, you'll feel less leg fatigue when standing, recover balance quickly after a missed step, and step confidently on slick surfaces. Each controlled up-down load, the Achilles tendon and calf in compression and tension. Load-sensing cells trigger tissue remodeling, and varying ascent/descent speeds further activate balance reflexes and the vestibular system. For best results, stand behind a sturdy chair, fingertips lightly on the backrest, eyes forward. Inhale, then perform heel raises at different speeds on different days. Rise onto the balls of your feet to full height, hold at the top for 3 seconds. If safe, hover your hands. Lower in 3 controlled seconds. Suggested rhythm plan. A slow day, 1 to 2 seconds, up hold, 3 seconds, 3 seconds down, and a controlled fast day, 1 second, up 1 second down. Keep the torso tall, don't lock the knees. Do 2 to 3 sets of 10-25 reps, rest 45 to 60 seconds. Regress by holding firmly to the chair, reducing range or lowering reps. Track progress, hit 25 clean 2-leg reps before advancing to the single-leg version, and reach 10 to 20 seconds of steady single-leg stance with eyes open, benchmarks closely tied to plantar flexor strength and balance control in older adults. Move 2. Chair squat variation. The foundation for daily life is standing up and sitting down correctly, so we upgrade lower body strength with a chair squat variation. This transfers directly to the functional movement you do dozens of times a day, sit to stand. Structured exercise programs help community-dwelling older adults reduce fall rate by 23%, and walking faster within a safe range correlates with higher 5 to 10-year survival. Strengthening the lower limbs and controlling the hip-knee alignment is an investment in long-term independence, not just muscle size. Within weeks, you'll feel less pain standing up. Stair climbing will ease, and carrying loads will become safer because your lower body produces force well. The key: push the hips back before bending the knees and lower over 3 seconds. Mechanoreceptors in the glutes, thighs, and around the knee sense load and signal reinforcement of fibers and supporting tissues. The slow descent with a light touch on the chair increases time under tension, helping you accumulate build signals session by session. How to do it: set a sturdy chair so your thighs are near parallel when seated. Stand in front of the seat edge, feet hip width, toes turned out 5 to 10 degrees, arms crossed on the chest or reaching forward. Inhale, push hips back as if closing a door with your glutes, then bend knees. Lower for 3 seconds until the hips lightly touch the chair, don't plop. Exhale and drive through the heels to stand for over 2 seconds, knees tracking over toes. Do 2-3 sets of 6 to 15 reps. Rest 60 to 90 seconds. Progress with a lower chair, a lightweight held at the chest, or a 1-2 second pause at the bottom. Regress with a higher chair, allowing a very light hand touch to the thighs, or placing a pad under the hips to reduce range. Track total clean reps and the 30-second sit to stand test. See how many more reps you achieve after 4 to 6 weeks. An increase of 2 to 3 is a sign of stronger, more enduring lower limbs, aligning with evidence that resistance training improves gait speed and balance in older adults. Move 1. Bird dog anti-rotation. Balance to lock in inside-out stability. We finish with a cross-limb pattern that builds anti-rotation core control, the bird dog. This is the closest because it gathers all the crucial pieces: over 60 core stability, anti-rotation, cross-limb coordination, and balance control depths that walking doesn't reach. Current evidence shows 2 clear leverage benefits from doing the right exercises. First, reduced fall rate, 23% in community-dwelling older adults, when programs prioritize balance and functional training rate ratio 0.77 in the updated Cochrane Review summarized in BMJ Sports Medicine. Second, faster safe walking speed is a strong survival marker. A meta-analysis of 34,485 adults, 65 plus, found that each 0.1 mSh increase is associated with about a 12% lower mortality risk, and models that include gait speed predict 5 to 10-year survival more accurately than age and sex alone. With steady practice, your lower back feels calmer when carrying. Turning becomes easier, and you'll stand on one leg to put on shoes with confidence. Extending right arm, left leg, or left arm, right leg, while keeping a neutral trunk for 5 to 10 seconds. Load soft tissues around the spine and hips in opposing directions. Cells sense and convert that load into reinforcement signals. Over time, the trunk tolerates load better and reduces sway when you shift weight while walking. How to: on hands and knees on a mat, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, gaze at the floor just ahead of hands. Inhale and gently brace the abdomen. Exhale to extend the right arm and left leg until body, arm, and leg align, hips square. Hold 5 to 10 seconds, lower, slowly switch sides. Breathe steadily, don't hold your breath. Start with 2 to 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps per side. Then scale up, hold longer. Add small 1 to 2 centimeter pulses at the top while staying neutral. Close eyes for 2-3 seconds once stable, or loop a mini band between opposite hand and foot for added resistance. Regress by sliding limbs along the floor instead of lifting or lifting only one limb at a time. Track reach 10 seconds steady holds per side and 8 clean reps per side. In parallel monitor self-selected 4-meter gait speed to see if improved trunk force transfer shows up in your stride over 6 to 8 weeks connections. Emphasized in reviews linking trunk stability and walking performance in older adults. The goal of these 5 moves is to create specific adaptations, more strength in multiple planes, better balance and coordination, sharpened movement awareness, and sturdier bones, all so you can confidently do very ordinary things like stand up, turn, change direction, and step across a slippery surface. The difference is timing. Instead of an hour of monotonous walking, spend about 20-25 minutes 3 to 4 sessions per week on a focused package of strength and balance work. This approach is supported by Cochrane reviews showing 23% reduction in fall rate among community-dwelling older adults, while walking alone lacks equivalent evidence for fall reduction. It also aligns with WHO guidance for adults 65+ to include multi-component training, combining strength and balance weekly to maintain function and prevent falls. On the live long front gait speed remains a strong survival indicator. A meta-analysis of 485 people shows each 0.1 AFUMs increase associates with 12% lower mortality. One more reason to train core stability and whole body force transfer with these 5 moves instead of walking alone. It's never too late to start. Even past 90, supervised strength training increases muscular force, improves walking speed, and the ability to stand up, translating to more confidence in daily life. Trials in the very old show meaningful improvements in strength, muscle size, and mobility after weeks to months of structured training. In parallel balance and functional training programs are confirmed by systematic reviews to reduce fall rate by 23% in community-dwelling older adults, a practical benefit that walking alone hasn't demonstrated to the same degree. Now we'd love to hear from you. After 60, which daily task is hardest for you, and which do you want to improve first? How much time per week do you spend exercising? What's your biggest barrier to staying consistent? Share your age and a specific 2-week goal in the comments. I'll read, respond, and suggest a suitable starting level so you can begin today. Thanks for being here and following along. Do Americans spend so much on healthcare, yet still have a lower life expectancy than Japan? And does your daily exercise truly help your body age more slowly? In reality, Americans spend the most on healthcare among wealthy countries, about $14.4 thousand per person in 2023 alone. But average life expectancy remains lower than the overall level of developed nations. The average life expectancy in the United States is around 78, while Japan is among the leaders with about 81 years for men and over 87 years for women. In other words, investing more does not necessarily mean living longer or aging more slowly. You do not need to train hard or for a long time. Just 2 minutes a day already brings clear benefits. The method is very simple. Split it into 2 sessions of 1 minute. Each spread throughout the day. For example, walk faster than usual for 1 minute. When heading out the door, then climb the stairs faster for 1 minute when you get home. Short bursts like these help strengthen the heart and lungs and reduce the risk of heart disease and early death in middle-aged and older adults. The Japanese live long not because of expensive gyms, but thanks to small, consistent daily movements such as radio taiso walking and gentle joint stretching. The important thing is to do a little, but do it consistently. Your body will grow stronger over time without needing to push yourself too hard. The solution in this video is therefore very specific and friendly for people over 50. 6 Japanese-style moves that help joints become more flexible, tendons, stronger, balance better, and slow functional aging. Each move takes about 2 minutes with a light version to practice right at home or in the park. When maintained regularly, physical activity has been shown to be associated with extending healthy life expectancy in long-term cohort studies, and when combined with a healthy lifestyle can bring benefits of up to about 7 years of healthy life. Before we start the first move, I want to hear from you. How old are you and where are you, so I can suggest a pace suitable for the weather and your surroundings. Please leave a comment and I will reply to each person. If you are ready, let's begin now. If you are over 50 and want a more supple body without needing a gym, you are in the right place. This video guides you through 6 simple Japanese-style moves, each only about 2 minutes to practice right at home or in the park. The goal is flexible joints, steady balance, deep breathing, good sleep, and a durable, healthy rhythm of life. I will guide you slowly, with counting cues, safety reminders, and always a light version so you can start today. Before the first move, tell me your age and where you are so I can suggest a pace that suits your temperature and space. Comment below and I will reply to each person. If you are ready, we will warm up right now. Exercise 1. Sampo, the art of slow walking, starting with the most important foundation. We move to Sampo, the art of deliberate slow walking. Conceptually, Sampo is not about walking a lot or walking fast. It is how you walk mindfully to warm the joints from the ankles, knees, and hips to the back, while bringing the autonomic nervous system back to a stable state. When doing Sampo, you focus on a moderate step-length feet, pointing straight ahead or slightly open, relaxed shoulders, and breathing in sync with your steps. Now let's get into the concrete. How to step by step so you can apply it right away. Stand upright, eyes looking forward. Start with short steps, heel touching down before the toes, arms swinging naturally at your sides. Inhale for 2 steps, exhale for 2 or 3 steps, as long as your breathing feels smooth and not hurried. If the surface is slippery, walk on a mat or a dry hallway and wear soft-soled shoes with good traction. You can intersperse 20 to 30 seconds of slightly higher knee lifts to wake up the quadriceps, then return to the slow rhythm. When practiced regularly, you will notice positive changes. Warm and more flexible ankles, less heaviness in the knees, hips that open smoothly, a more comfortable lower back, and deeper nighttime sleep because the nervous system has been cooled down by gentle walking. To reassure you further, here is some evidence from large-scale meta-analyses showing a more steps, more benefit relationship with mortality risk. With as few as about 3, 8, 6, 7, 3, 9, 67 steps per day, there was a reduction in all-cause mortality, and about 2, 337 steps per day was associated with reduced cardiovascular mortality in adults, in which people over 60 benefited clearly when reaching the 6,000, 8,000 steps per day range. This means you do not need 10,000 steps. Just a slight increase from your current level already helps. You can start with 5 to 10-minute segments spread throughout the day, or walk around the house after lunch, then gradually increase duration as your body feels comfortable. Consider Sampo a small gift you give yourself each morning. After just a few weeks, your steps will feel steadier and your spirits lighter. Exercise 2. Radio Taiso, morning broadcast. Exercise next. Once your legs are warmed up, we move on to Radio Taiso, Japan's famous morning broadcast exercise. From a practical view, Radio Taiso is a full-body sequence lasting a few minutes, including raising the arms, trunk rotations, side bends, knee dips, and rhythmic flexion and extension to music. The goal is to wake up the spine, shoulders, hips, and circulation after a night's sleep. Now is the time to put theory into movement. Follow me beat by beat. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Inhale and reach your arms overhead to open the chest. Exhale and lower the arms while rotating the trunk gently to both sides. Continue with side bends to lengthen the lateral body. Small range knee dips, wrist and ankle circles. Touch your hands down near your knees. If comfortable, then return. Keep your breathing even, movements smooth, and avoid jerking. Practiced correctly and sufficiently, your body will respond. The mid-back becomes less stiff, shoulders, open hips more mobile. Blood flows better, making your mind much clearer, especially if you tend to be stiff in the morning. In terms of evidence, we have a 12-week randomized trial on 226 Japanese adults who were pre-frail or frail. The group doing home-based radio taiso with a few short group sessions achieved very high adherence and improved timed up-and-go speed by about 0.3 of a second, compared with the group receiving nutrition counseling alone, while also increasing marching in place endurance and training confidence. Another study also confirmed that a home-based radio taiso program is safe and feasible for older adults. These are small numbers, but with practical meaning. Just a short, consistent sequence is enough to lubricate the joints for a new day. A tip for maintenance is to anchor radio taiso to a fixed habit cue, for example, after brushing your teeth or before breakfast. If you struggle to remember, play the same radio taiso track each morning so the brain automatically falls into rhythm. Exercise 3: Deep Squat. Resting squat. At this point, when the spine and major joints are warm throughout, we bring the hips and ankles back to their natural range with the deep squat. Resting squat. Essentially, this is a classic Asian resting posture that opens the hips, softens the ankles, activates the glutes and hamstrings, thereby supporting very everyday activities like picking something up, standing up from a low chair, or stepping over a door sill. To make it easy to follow, I will guide you in a simple sequence. Stand with feet slightly wider than shoulder width, toes lightly turned out lower, yourself slowly as if searching for a chair behind you. Knees always pointing in the same direction as the toes maintain a neutral spine and keep heels on the ground. If the heels lift, place a thin book under them or lightly hold the back of a chair for reassurance. Lower to a range that still feels comfortable. Pause for a few breaths, then stand up using the glutes and hamstrings without jerking the back. Functionally, this move opens the hip joints, increases ankle flexibility, reduces lower back tension, and teaches the body to shift weight safely. Encouragingly, 12-week home-based data on squats in older adults shows that functional tests related to standing up, 1 repetition maximum leg press, and lower limb performance all improved significantly regardless of whether you trained shallow or deep ranges. This indicates that proper technique and consistency are more important than how deep you go. If your knees are sensitive, start with half range and increase gradually as the joints warm up. You can also pair squats with sit to stand from a chair so the body learns to shift weight smoothly. After a few weeks, your gait will feel lighter, and the thresholds in your home will no longer be a worry. A small mid-CTA to keep viewing rhythm if you are following along. To this point, pause the video for 1 minute, stand up and try 3 comfortable depth squats, then perform 5 sit-to-stand repetitions from a chair. Come back and comment on how your breathing and knees feel after 1 minute of movement. The immediate feeling of warmth will help the brain remember the routine and turn it into a habit. Exercise 4. 1 leg balance. 1 leg balance. Now, from that flexible base, we train the balance system with 1 leg balance. This is a short exercise but has strong predictive value for overall health because it wakes up the ankle, the muscles around the hips, and the proprioceptive system, while requiring coordination among the eyes, inner ear, and brain. Set up the correct posture with me before starting to train safely. Stand next to the back of a chair or a wall, gaze at eye level. Into the distance, gently draw the abdomen in, lift 1 foot a few centimeters off the floor, keep the pelvis level and breathe evenly. Gentle shaking is normal. When tired, lower the foot, switch sides, and repeat for a few rounds. When you are confident, you can try closing your eyes for 2 to 3 seconds, or slowly turning your head side to side, but only when you have very firm support. Regarding benefits, good balance helps you pivot in the kitchen step over the rug edge and climb low steps without wobbling. The feeling of standing steady brings confidence and reduces fall risk. And here is a number many geriatricians recommend. Remembering research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine shows that people aged 50 to 75 who could not hold a one-leg stance for 10 seconds had about an 84% higher risk of death in the following decade compared with those who could, after adjusting for many factors. Mortality in the not achieved group was 17.5% versus 4.5% in the achieved group over an average follow-up of 7 years. Note this is an observational association, not cause and effect, but it highlights the importance of training balance every day. A small tip is to turn this into a waiting ritual when brushing your teeth, boiling water, or waiting for ads. Stand on one leg for 10 to 20 seconds next to the back of a chair. Accumulating a few such bouts during the day is very effective within just 1 to 2 weeks. Exercise 5. Sit to stand. Sit to stand test. Continuing the bridge between strength and balance. We come to sit to stand. The sit to stand test. This directly mimics an action you do dozens of times a day, standing up from and sitting down on a chair. To make everything smooth, we do a light warm-up. Then the steps as follows: prepare a sturdy chair without wheels at knee height. Sit upright, place both feet firmly like parallel rails, toes pointing straight ahead or very slightly outward. Lean the torso forward a little to shift weight, press the feet into the floor and bring the hips up to standing. When sitting back down, push the hips back to find the chair touch lightly, then stand up again. Watch closely and you will see that after a few days, the glutes and hamstrings pick up the signal better. Standing up feels smoother and you need your hands less. The clinical significance of this exercise is very clear. Measures such as the 5 times sit to stand or the 30-second repetition count are closely linked to fall risk, the level of independence in daily living, and disability predictions in community-dwelling adults. Many studies in Japan have shown that simple mobility metrics can clearly reflect the health and life expectancy of people after middle age. The Hisayama study, which followed more than 2,500 people for 19 years, found that grip strength was an important predictor of mortality risk. In those over 65, the strongest group had nearly a 60% lower risk of death than the weakest group. Another study by the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology, Tiamig Lisa, on more than 1,000 people aged 65 to 89, also confirmed that walking speed, grip strength, and balance ability are closely related to survival. People who walk slowly, have weak grip strength, or poor balance often have higher mortality risk. When combining all 3 indicators, the predictive ability is even more accurate. These results show that training strength, speed, and balance after age 50 is the key to maintaining comprehensive health and extending life expectancy. A simple tip that keeps your joints more comfortable. Practice on a mat or yoga mat to protect your joints and wear shoes with good grip if the floor is slippery. Just a few rounds each day are enough to make a difference over time. The goal is not flexibility, but maintaining your independence and quality of life. Exercise 6 towel rotations. Tenugui hibiki. And to complete the energy circle for the upper body, we finish with towel rotations. Tenugui hibiki. Professional materials note specific effectiveness, and this is the optimal way for you to begin gently. A tenugui is a traditional Japanese thin hand towel. You can use any long towel you have at home. Now let's move into practical steps. One by one, hold the 2 ends of the towel, hands wider than shoulder width. Bring the towel from in front of the chest up over the head. Stop where the shoulders still feel comfortable, then move slightly behind, if your body allows, then return to the starting position. Keep the elbows reasonably straight. Do not tense the neck. If it feels tight, widen the hand spacing. The next variation is to hold the towel overhead, then lean the torso to the left and right to stretch the lateral line. Or hold the towel horizontally in front of the chest and rotate the torso to both sides to wake up the thoracic spine. Overall, these are the most noticeable benefits: open shoulders, expanded chest, deeper and smoother, breathing, reduced rounded posture from sitting long hours, and a less tense neck when working at a computer. Regarding evidence-based recommendations, guidelines from the American College of Sports Medicine suggest that adults, especially older adults, should stretch 2 to 3 days per week, ideally daily. Each stretch held for 30 to 60 seconds will be more beneficial than 10-30 seconds in older adults. In addition, randomized controlled trials for the shoulder show that cross-body or sleeper stretches improve internal rotation range of motion. The towel stretch is a practical variant, easy to integrate into daily schedules and consistent with the Tenugui philosophy. Therefore, you can keep a towel on your desk and every 60-90 minutes stand up and do towel rotations for 1 or 2 rounds, each round a few deep breaths. After 1 week, the shoulder and upper back area will feel noticeably lighter. To make the sequence lively and easy to maintain, we combine them into a short daily route. In the morning after brushing your teeth, play music and do radio taiso for 3 to 5 minutes to flip the switch for the whole body. Then do a sampo lap around the house or the block. Back home, perform a few towel rotations to open the shoulders. In the afternoon or evening, when your limbs are tired after a day, practice one leg standing next to the back of a chair, interspersed with 2 to 3 clusters of sit-to-stand from a chair. When the joints are warm, add a few comfortable depth-deep squats. The important principle is to alternate light and moderate days, prioritizing smooth technique over counting numbers or chasing records. If busy, split into 3 to 5 minute sessions scattered throughout the day. It is precisely this Japanese-style break into small pieces approach that is the endurance secret of longevity. You've come with me this far, which means you've chosen a very clear path, keeping your body warm, flexible, and proactive after 50. I want you to remember this before you turn off the screen. Age is not a break. It's simply a signal for us to steer more gently. Your body still learns very quickly when you give it simple, safe instructions repeated consistently. The 6 Japanese-style moves today are not for pushing hard in a single day, but for doing a little every day. Consistency is the real secret to slowing aging. Have you ever wondered whether a simple 10-second test could predict your survival chances? With just one 10-second test, the risk of survival can be signaled. Being unable to stand on one leg for 10 seconds is associated with about an 84% higher risk of death in the next decade. After the age of 65, 1 in 4 people experiences a fall each year, and falls are the leading cause of injury in older adults. This figure is not only alarming, it can actually be changed with just a few right habits at home. The problem becomes even more serious when balance declines. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine showed that people who cannot maintain the one-leg standing position for 10 seconds have nearly twice the risk of dying within the next 10 years compared to those who can. So what would happen if you could lower this risk without expensive equipment or long hours of training, but with just a few simple moves right at home? The answer is absolutely possible. The good news is that even light physical activity already produces clear benefits. In fact, an analysis in The Lancet Public Health found that for people over 60, walking 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day is enough to provide protective effects against premature death without needing to reach the 10,000 step mark. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 simple, safe, and effective exercises to maintain balance, reduce fall risk, and rejuvenate your body. Stay with me until the end of the video, and you'll have a practical plan to put into action right after watching. If you find this useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, save the video, and share it with your loved ones over 50. Exercise 1. Plank. We start with the plank, because this exercise builds a solid foundation for the back, hips, and core. When the core is stable, every movement from lifting objects, standing up to stepping up and down is much more secure. After age 50, the purpose of the plank isn't to burn belly fat, but to teach the body how to maintain a neutral spine, transmit force effectively, and protect the lower back in daily life. The first exercise, plank. Hold your body steady like a wooden board. Why is the plank important? It's an excellent exercise to strengthen the core, which means the muscles around the abdomen, lower back, and hips, the muscles responsible for helping you stand upright, maintain balance, and protect the spine. A 2019 study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that older adults who maintain strong core muscles can reduce their risk of falling by up to 40%, one of the leading causes of serious injury and loss of independence after age 60. Now let's move into practice, starting from the easy level. Lie sideways into a forearm and knees plank. Elbow under the shoulder, knees touching the floor, back straight like a flat table, eyes looking down. Gently draw the navel toward the spine to create the feeling of tightening a belt around the trunk. Keep breathing evenly and avoid holding your breath. Once comfortable, move to a forearm and toes plank, elbows directly under shoulders, hands relaxed, heels pressing lightly back and neck in a straight line, not bent up or down. Correct technique is indicated by activation in the front abdominal muscles, transverse abdominis, and deep back muscles, while the lower back stays comfortable without sagging. The benefit of the plank at this age group comes from stability, not from holding it too long. For those with a history of back pain or disc degeneration, plank variations such as the forearm plank, side plank with knees down, or the Big Three by McGill, like the bird dog, and side plank are safe options with strong evidence for improving back pain function and balance in older adults with chronic low back pain. A recent randomized trial in older adults with nonspecific back pain showed that the core stabilization group improved function, physical performance, and fall risk compared to controls, reinforcing the message that stabilization exercises such as the plank, bird dog, and side plank are suitable for both starting and maintaining practice. From here, adjust intensity based on your condition. Start light and gradually progress as your technique stabilizes. You can plank with hands on a chair or kitchen counter at a 30 to 45 degree angle, or increase difficulty with standard forearm planks for 10 to 20 seconds in short sets, inserting breaths between. If wrists are sensitive, prefer the forearm plank. If shoulders feel tense, narrow the elbow gap and keep shoulders away from the ears. Regular plank practice helps you stand up smoothly, lift objects safely, reduce back fatigue after sitting, and serves as a springboard for the 4 remaining exercises. Exercise 2. Hip hinge with chair. Next, we teach the body how to hinge at the hips correctly, to bend, pick up, or lift light items without back pain. Proper hip hinging means bending from the hip joints while keeping the spine close to neutral, avoiding excessive rounding. Prepare a sturdy chair in front of you. Stand with feet hip-width apart, toes forward. Lightly touch your hands to the chair back for safety. Push your hips back as if looking for a chair behind you. Keep weight distributed evenly on both feet, knees bending slightly, with the hips, spine stable, eyes looking diagonally down. Stop when you feel a moderate stretch in the hamstrings, then press your feet into the floor, squeeze your glutes, and return your hips to standing. Practice slowly so the brain relearns the pattern. Hips do the work, back stays protected. This exercise improves hip joint mobility and lower back strength. The immediate benefit is that bending to pick things up, opening low cabinets, or carrying groceries becomes easier because the force shifts to the hips and glutes instead of the back. Scientifically, the hip hinge is a foundational movement for many strength exercises. Learning it correctly reduces spinal load and enhances independence in daily activities for older adults. A study from the University of Tsukuba, tracking more than 10,000 seniors, found that those able to sit down and stand up from the floor without using their hands had significantly lower mortality rates in the following 6 years. This proves that simple hinge and hip extension movements act as a natural longevity test. If you're just starting out, hinge lightly and shallow, then gradually increase depth as comfort grows. This is one of the most useful exercises for preserving independence in later years, because it develops the strength needed for everyday movements. We've covered the first 2 exercises, and to help you stay focused, I want to remind you, stay until the end of the video. Exercise number 3 not only improves cardiovascular health, but is also one of the simplest ways to stay youthful. Remember, just by maintaining small daily habits, you can significantly improve your quality of life. Don't leave yet, the next moves hold even more surprises. Exercise 3. Wall push-up. When the core is stable and the hip hinge smooth, we add an exercise for chest, shoulders, triceps, and core in the pushing direction to improve pressing strength, support, rising up, or opening doors. Wall push-ups are suitable for most people after 50 because the angled body reduces load on shoulders and wrists while still activating the muscles effectively. Stand 1 arm's length from the wall, hands placed at chest height, slightly wider than shoulders, fingers pointing upward or slightly diagonally. Lightly brace the core as in the plank. Inhale as you slowly lower toward the wall, elbows angled 30-45 degrees from the body, chest moving closer, heels staying on the floor. Exhale as you press back to start. You'll feel warmth in the front of the body. Arms firm, torso steady without sagging. The clear benefit is stronger pushing power, supporting tasks like turning door handles, bracing yourself when stumbling, and creating a safer base for shoulders. As a general recommendation, sports medicine authorities encourage older adults to practice strength training regularly because of its great benefits for health function and quality of life. Wall push-ups are a low-barrier, easy home option. For lighter effort, stand closer to the wall. For more challenge, stand farther away, or shift to push-ups on higher surfaces like a countertop, then a sturdy chair edge. If wrists are uncomfortable, use fists or pads. Each week, aim to lower a little deeper, keep the body straighter and arms steadier. When you brace your hands against the wall to adjust curtains or reach overhead, you'll notice a newfound pushing confidence. Exercise 4. Horse stance. Next is exercise number 4, horse stance. This is a traditional training move particularly common in martial arts and qigong. The horse stance not only builds leg strength, but also improves balance, crucial for older adults. Stand with feet wider than shoulders, lower hips, as if sitting on an imaginary chair. Keep back straight, and place hands on hips, or extend them in front of the chest. Hold the stance for 10 to 20 seconds, then stand back up. Repeat 3 to 5 times. Breathe steadily, feel thighs, glutes, and core working gently. The horse stance creates a solid tripod base, trains static endurance of thigh and glute muscles, and warms up hips, knees, and ankles. It strongly supports functional balance like turning and stepping over door thresholds. For older adults, stronger legs and stability are the pillars of fall prevention. Every year, more than 1 in 4 people aged 65 and older experience a fall equivalent to over 14 million people. In 2023, Alone, 400 older adults died from falls, and more than 3.5 million emergency visits were due to fall-related injuries. The fall mortality rate among adults 65 plus has increased by over 70% in the past 2 decades, reaching about 69.9 per 100,000 population in 2023, with significant differences among states. These numbers show that building leg strength, core stability, and balance at home is no longer optional. It's a necessary investment for living independently and safely each day. If knees are sensitive, keep the stance shallow or place a cushion behind the back against a wall for stability. As you progress, increase holding time or add slow, deep breaths while lightly tightening the lower abs to strengthen the core foundation. After just a few weeks, you'll notice less fatigue while cooking, more confident turns while walking, and the final exercise will work even better because your legs have built a stable base. Exercise 5. Hip hinge with dumbbells. To finish, we return to the hip hinge pattern and add light resistance with dumbbells to strengthen glutes, hamstrings, and deep back muscles. This variation, Romanian deadlift with dumbbells, is ideal for reinforcing the posterior chain, supporting posture, and enhancing the ability to carry light loads at home. Start with 2 small dumbbells or 2 water bottles. Stand with feet hip-width apart. Hold the weights in front of your thighs and your shoulders relaxed. Inhale, push hips back, following the hinge path learned in the chair. Exercise, slide the weights along thighs down to mid-shin or until you feel a comfortable hamstring stretch. Spine straight, knees slightly bent. Exhale, press feet into the floor, squeeze glutes, return hips upright, sliding weights back along thighs. The rhythm is slow and controlled, no bouncing hips or dropping weights. The benefit of loaded hip hinging is increased posterior chain strength, which declines quickly with age, but determines the ability to climb stairs, stand up, and maintain balance when nudged. Many technical guides and practice reviews describe the Romanian dumbbell deadlift as the backbone of this muscle group because it emphasizes controlled tension during descent and teaches force transfer through the hips rather than the lower back. Now adapt to your strength, choose the easy version first, then progress as you feel steady and comfortable. Reduce difficulty by hanging without weights or with a stick to learn the straight weight path close to the thighs. If hamstrings feel too tight, place a thin object under the toes to reduce the stretch. When progressing, increase dumbbell weight very slightly, week by week, prioritizing smooth and controlled repetitions. You can also switch to a kickstand stance, with one foot lightly touching the ground to increase balance challenge once the technique is stable. Even light weights have value as long as you maintain clean movement. Over time, you'll realize lifting a small water container, carrying a pot, or bending to pick something up feels natural with less strain on the lower back because the hips and glutes take the load. Daily integration. To help you stick with it, link each exercise to a daily habit. Morning after brushing teeth, 2 to 3 short plank sets. Before lunch, 6 to 8 slow hip hinges with chair. Afternoon, 2 sets of wall push-ups each until comfortable fatigue. Evening, 2 short horse stance holds, followed by 6 to 8 dumbbell hip hinges. First 2 days let the body adapt, next 2 days slightly increase depth, and by week's end maintain a steady rhythm. If busy, break into 3 to 5-minute sessions spread throughout the day. Quality matters more than quantity. Always warm up with a few deep breaths and gentle joint rotations. Maintain a neutral spine in hinge moves and avoid craning the neck or sagging the back. If you feel sharp joint pain, radiating numbness, or prolonged dizziness, stop and reduce range. Adjust footwear for good grip, clear walkways, and ensure proper lighting because a safe environment combined with exercise most effectively reduces falls. Don't compare yourself to others, compare with yourself from last week. This week, you hold the plank more smoothly for 10 seconds. Hinge a little deeper without back strain. Add 2-3 more wall push-ups. Hold horse stance for a few more breaths, and keep dumbbells traveling straight along thighs, even if light. Small accumulated progress leads to big changes in sleep gait and confidence. If this guidance is helpful, hit subscribe. Leave a comment with the exercise you'll start within the next 24 hours and your small goal for the week. Share the video with a friend or loved one over 50 to practice together each day. Save the video to your playlist to revisit when exercising. Final reminder: with just 5 simple exercises, no gym needed, you can stay strong, independent, and safer every day. See you in the next video where I'll upgrade each exercise step by step in a safe, age-appropriate plan.